As developer, your time is the most valuable asset because you have some deadlines to meet, some features to test, and some designs to implement. Let me tell you a way to add some time to your schedule simply by speeding up some tasks using a straightforward hack: keyboard shortcuts. Assalamu alaikum, hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Charfaoui Younes. I provide tutorials and tips about Android development, software engineering, and even some productivity hack for the developer community. An average person working on computer tasks wastes around 2 seconds per minute by switching back and forth between the keyboard and the mouse. And I think that's more if you are a developer. A study says that if your job requires you to be working on computer tasks for 8 hours standard workdays, then using keyboard shortcut can save you 8 entire workdays every year, which is equal to 3.3% of your total productivity, which is incredible. Just imagine adding a free week to your year. In this video, I'm going to show you 7 inevitable shortcuts that will boost your development speed in Android Studio. Keyboard shortcuts are always better than the mouse because using the mouse will waste you a lot of time by clicking and moving, while you can achieve the same thing using 3 or 2 combination keys using keyboard shortcuts. I'm not saying stop using the mouse because we simply can't, but we should reduce its use. That's why we prefer terminal commands to do common things. So let's get started. Here I'm having a simple Android apps that display some buttons that let you change the language of your application. So let's start with the first one, which is Shift and F6. Shift and F6 allow you to rename things. So to rename things here, for example, you can just start to rename it like that. For example, let's call it the other screen because this will break and also this will break. So you need to rename it in a way that renames everything. So you do the following here, you go to refactor and choose rename. That way, if you change it here, for example, you choose other, and if you press OK, it will change everywhere. But using this command frequently because we need to rename many things. So using Shift and F6 will allow you to do this operation better and quicker. Why? Because we need to rename many things from variable, function, class name to make our code cleaner. All right, Shift F6, rename, other, good. You are ready to go. Okay, good. Okay, this is how we can rename things faster. The next shortcut we have is extracting methods. To make our code cleaner, as Uncle Bob said in his book, Clean Code, we need to have a lot of small functions, each one do one simple thing. All right, so here, for example, let's say I'm having these buttons. As you can see, here's the first button, here's the second button, here's the third button. Well, we can extract, as you can see, there are a lot of common things here. For example, there is this thing, this thing, this thing, and even this thing. So we can extract it to a function, this button to a function. All right, you can do that by, you can create a function and call it, but you can extract it directly from here. You can select it like that, do refactor, extract and introduce, and a function. Well, doing this with the mouse is a little bit tedious, so we can use the shortcut, which is Ctrl-Alt-M. Okay, we can click it. It will tell you the destination or target code block. I will tell you to the main screen key here. For example, I will change it, for example, to language button. I will put it here with L, like that, and here it is. I'm passing Spanish click listener. Okay, I will make this general click listener, for example, click listener. Let me rename it with Control and with Shift and F6. For example, click listener, like that. Let me delete it. And here, let me also to introduce this thing, and this function is generic. Now I will just pass, let me delete it first, just pass here the text, and I can do this for these 2 functions. So this is the result. This is much cleaner than the previous way. So this is the benefit of extracting multiple functions. That way, when extracting function using Ctrl-Alt-M will help you do this operation a lot, and your code will be cleaner. The next thing we have is code selection. We always need to select code. For example, if I want to delete this line, I have to select it like that and delete it. Okay, we want to use something good. Okay, well, we have shortcut for that. If you put the cursor here, you can select with arrows and shift like that. And if you want to select multiple things, for example, you can select it with the at the end like that. Or if you have this cat at the beginning, you can select shift and beginning like that, or home, depending on the keyboard. And also you can select it with Control, Shift, and arrows. That way you select fragment of your code. This is all valid shortcut. But one interesting thing about Android Studio here is sometimes you want to select specific things. Let's say, for example, let's just say, for example, here, I want to select only this. Well, you can do this like that. It will work perfectly fine, which is good. Or you can select it like that and go back. We have Control and W. Control and W is perfect. You can put the caret here and put Control and W. It will select the current word. And if you click it one more time or tap it one more time, it will select the next word, which is string. Now, if you click it one more time, it will select all the function. If you click it one more time, it will select all the line without this comma. And finally, it will select all the block. Even more, you can use it here. You can use it everywhere. Let's say I'm using it here in the string. You can tap it. Now it will expand to this R, now to this simple string, now to the parameter inside, now to all the function, now to all the line. Okay, so this is much better, I think, than Control and Shift and arrows. One thing to note here is that this option won't work by default because the original selection will select all that. If you go to the setting, you will see here in Smart Keys, the selection of use camel humps word. If you deactivate that and click OK, when selecting with Control W, it will select the whole word directly. It won't respect this camel case thing. So if you want to activate it, go back here, go back to Smart Keys, or just type here camel humps like that. Camel hump, for example, like that. Go to Smart Keys here and activate this option. Okay, and you are ready to go to use Control and W. Now to the next keyboard shortcut, which is combination of mouse and keyboard shortcut. Sometimes we want to add the same line or delete the same line from different things. For example, here I want to delete this modifier, this modifier, this modifier, and this modifier. We can do several things here. We can, for example, select this modifier, type Control and F, and select all these three. But if you have another modifier, well, we'll have another problem here. All right, because this modifier don't have a comma. But if you select that, Control F, it will select 4. You can select them all here like that and delete them directly. This will work perfectly fine. But we have another option. We can select multiple cursor or caret here. For example, go here or type Alt and Shift, depending on the computer, Alt and Shift or simply Alt, and click here also and click here also. That way you have 3 cursors working. You can move them as you want. You can select with them with Control W even. For example, let's click Control W. It will select the line, for example. If you want to change only this 8, you can replace it here to 6.dp, and this will perfectly work. Okay, you can delete things, for example. You can add new lines. For example, let's say I'm having something else. Let's say I have colors. For example, I can introduce colors and much more. This way you can use this multiple caret or cursors to introduce or delete many things. So this is how you can use Alt and Shift, or depending on the computer, Alt only, to select multiple cursors. Okay, the next one is a famous famous shortcut, which is context actions with Alt and Enter. Sometimes there are operations that are specific to the context. Let's say here that I want to convert this string into a string resource. Well, you can go here and create a string resource and call it here, but this will take a lot of time. So here, put the cursor here, simply click Alt Enter, and you will have many things here. Choose extract string resource and type, for example, hello world. Okay, tap it and you will have everything go here directly with 2 keyboard shortcuts. So this is how you can use the Alt Enter to use context actions. For example, there are many things you want. Let's say if you want to use the plugin of fill constructor, you can use Alt Enter here and use fill function. It will fill many. Well, this is a combination of plugins and keyboard shortcut, but this is how we can speed up our development processes. Okay, so let's delete that and let's move to the next shot. Let's go back here and let's say that this code may produce an exception. Well, we can surround it with try and catch, where we can write it like that, try, put this code here, use catch here, and you have to write the exception also, but this is a lot. We can do it with 2 simple or 3 simple K combination. Okay, you can select the code like that. That's the first one, and choose Control Alt and T for surround. Well, you can surround it with if and else. That's great. You can surround it with try finally, try catch finally, and try catch. You can use the mouse here, or you can use this number 6. If I click 6, directly it will introduce try catch with a default exception. If it knows the exception, it will write the exception directly here. Okay, so this is how you can surround your code block with if and else, try catch, or anything you want. The next keyboard shortcut, which is a famous one, is to reformat the code. As you can see here, we have code that is here, someone is here, that one is here, and you want to reformat the code with one keyboard shortcut. You can use a simple command, which is Control-Alt-L, Control-Alt-L, and everything will go format. There is this one, and also we can add the shift, so it will be Control-Shift-Alt-L like that. And optional, you can have optimized imports. It will delete unused import in the file you have, and code cleanup, run it, and everything will go fine. So this is it for this video. Using this keyboard shortcut, you can increase and boost your productivity by a great margin. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like for this video. If you know other keyboard shortcut and you think that other developers should use them, please share them with us in the comment section below, and I will pin the most useful one. Thank you very much for watching. Happy coding day and salam alaikum.